Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review of One Piece chapter 827, and this one was Totland, and it's time for my review. And this one I felt like it was good. It wasn't great or anything. It was just kind of okay. It was good though, but we didn't get a ton of stuff, and none of it was super surprising, and there was just a really big hole in it, and that's my big complaint. But I'll talk about that as we go through it. Starting off, I want to start with the cover page, and we see the cover has the Kamabaka Kingdom, and Ivankov looks like he's preparing a table, and it is called Preparation. Now, what are they preparing for? My guess, my prediction, my theory, whatever, is that they are preparing for the revolutionaries to come to Kamabaka. Now, that would explain why when the government arrived at Baltigo, the revolutionaries weren't there, only the Blackbeard pirates. At first, I thought that maybe the revolutionaries had just run away and avoided a fight, but maybe they weren't there to begin with, because maybe the revolutionary leader meeting that we all know has been coming, maybe the meeting wasn't going to happen at Baltigo anyway. Maybe the meeting is supposed to happen at Kamabaka. Because, I mean, it makes sense. Ivankov is one of the top revolutionaries, so it makes sense that the leaders could meet at an island, at a country run by him. So they could be preparing the tables for the other revolutionary leaders. So that'll be really cool, because I think it'll be sort of an interesting dynamic if we have the Reverie and the revolutionary leader meeting maybe happen near the same time. And we've had a little bit of setup for both. So Reverie obviously would be the most important thing. Maybe at the Reverie something goes down and the revolutionaries come in. Who knows? But after that, we start off with Peckham's smooth talking our way past the what is it, the tart, one of the tarts, and we then cut straight to Luffy and Chopper in this town where everything is made of chocolate. So it's a really cool design, and I'm honestly loving the whole Totland concept and the way it's all set up. I think it's a really cool setting, and for storytelling and stuff, I'm a sucker for a really good setting. But I don't know, I feel it's cool, and we see in the panel that there are humans there are animals, there are minks, there is a mermaid in one of the panels, there's a dwarf there's a woman with a super long neck wearing a dress in one of the panels. And we know from the the little slave ledger thing, that was it Law that had it at the auction house? Whoever had the slave ledger thing, we know that on that was the Snake Neck tribe, so I guess that's what that woman could be. We had a woman with super long legs that it looked like she had the same marking on her thigh that Blue Gilly does. Pretty sure it's the exact same marking, so obviously that would mean she is Long Leg tribe. So it was really cool to see all of the different races mixing together there. And we find out from Peckham's that is sort of Big Mom's dream, the utopian country where all races are together equally. But not all's as it seems, because they kind of pillage and destroy other nations for their nation's wealth. So definitely getting a Dressrosa kind of vibe off of that. Now cutting back to the we had already cut back to the Sunny, but we do see that Nami and Carrot are in new outfits, looking great. And there's also, when he explains Totland, it's Whole Cake Island and 34 surrounding islands, and each of the surrounding islands are ruled by a chancellor. And the island that they're currently at is Chocolatown, or the place they're currently at is Chocolatown on Cacao Island. Sorry, neck hurts a little. So Luffy and Chopper eat an entire cafe, and of course they get into a little bit of trouble for this, but then the owner shows up, and it looks as though Nitro the Jello is the owner and that Pudding, we actually get to see Puddings, which was the big exciting part of this to me. And she is like a cook. She's the one that built the place out of sweets. And it seems as though she's a baker, it would seem. So she is very perfect for Sanji. But I'm loving her character. Every part of Pudding in this chapter was really, really good. And also there's Labian the carpet. Now that makes me think, so we've seen with Big Mom's crew and all their stuff that there's a bunch of random objects that are apparently living. They have faces, they sing or whatever. So it's interesting to see that they have names, that it's named Labian, because I was wondering, are they just inanimate objects that have faces and sing, or are they actual, like, what's a good word for it, autonomous beings maybe? Do they have their own will? So this would make it seem like they are their own people, being Labian. Also, these three, they give me a real Papug, what was it, Papug, Kami, and Hachan feeling from back at Fishman Island and before that at Sabati. I get like a real, the relationship and the way they look being kind of weird and different really are strangely similar. They have something strangely similar going on, but Pudding's awesome. She covers for Luffy and Chopper, which is really, really awesome. And Pedro, of course, says, "What fortuitous luck." And I love that he keeps saying that, but in this case, like, what fortuitous luck is freaking right, because, like, what are the odds that they just happen to show up at the one island where Pudding is, and Pudding is the one that's marrying Sanji, and they happen to eat the one building that belongs to her. Now, of course, the excuse for that is that she's so talented they knew to go to her building, but other than that, it does seem pretty damn convenient that they would meet under these circumstances. But we also get this, Mink shows up and he's like, "Captain Pedro, oh my god, it's so wonderful to see you once again." He has like tears in his eyes and stuff. But Pedro shuts him up and says, "We'll talk about it later." And the thing with that, a lot of people think that Pedro could be a double agent, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe. What I think is the most likely choice is that he was once a captain in the Big Mom Pirates, and then I guess he just saw the evil they were doing, destroying all these countries, and left. Because I don't think Pedro's a bad guy because of the way the guy reacted, the way he had tears in his eyes, said, "I'm so glad to see you" one more time. He acted like Pedro was a hero or something. So I'm thinking he is a good guy, and he maybe left the Big Mom Pirates because underneath all this happy, smiley, perfect utopia stuff, it is clear that there is some evil stuff going down. Another very much less likely possibility that I see is that maybe the guy was, because we see a lot of minks there, maybe a lot of minks just, who used to serve under Pedro as the, the Guardians of the Whale Forest left, because he is the captain of the Guardians of the Whale Forest. So if that guy is a former Guardian, he would have called Pedro captain. So I guess it sort of makes sense, because he would be captain either way. We know that he, like, it's kind of shocking hearing him be called captain, like, out in the world like this. But then thinking back and kind of remembering, a mink would know him as captain, even if he wasn't a pirate, because he is the captain of the Mink Guardians of the Whale Forest. And we get a nice conversation with Pudding after this, and that's wherein my big complaint comes. I'll go ahead and say what happens. Like, Luffy's about to say his name, Nami shuts him up, we get Pudding's reaction, and then we cut over to Big Mom. But my big complaint is that when Capone read the announcement to Sanji, Nami, Chopper, Brook, all three of them were there. All three of them should know that the woman he's marrying is named Pudding. If they know he's getting married in the first place, they should know Pudding because it was said at pretty much the exact same time. Now, also, even if they didn't hear the police officer saying that her name was Pudding, she introduced herself to them when they were in the cafe, the destroyed cafe. So there is no excuse for, like, there to be no reaction or anything whatsoever. Like, even, like, a look on Nami's face, like, oh, I realized this is the girl. No, there's, like, nothing. They could always have something next chapter where they get out of the situation, and then Nami's like, Luffy, or Brooke or somebody's like, Luffy, you can't talk too much. That's that's Big Mom's daughter. That's the one Sanji's marrying. They could always come back and do some damage control like that, and not really damage control because they might just be saving it until next chapter or something, but it just seemed to me to be super weird and out of place for there to be no reaction at all to finding out that that is Pudding. And if somehow Oda's going with they don't know, Nami, Chopper, and Brooke are not that stupid. They are not dumb enough to think, okay, we're in Big Mom's territory with a woman who is about to be married soon. Sanji was taken here because he was about to be married soon. She was congratulated on it. Like, so it's just one of those things where they're not that stupid. They have to realize it. And I don't know, just having no reaction there is really weird to me. But the cuts in this chapter were a little bit weird. Like, I normally like jumping around a lot, but the way we jumped around in this one was really weird. Like, even earlier in the chapter where we jumped to Luffy and Chopper on the island before we jumped to Peckham's finding out that they had already gone on the island without the disguises was weird, because it would have made more sense to jump to Peckham's and then find out, oh, they're not on the ship, and then jump to Luffy and Chopper, because then we would, I don't know, it just seems like it would fit better. Just the way it was cut up this chapter was really weird. But either way, we're introduced to Big Mom and get to actually see her through a musical number, and I'm not super hype excited about that because it's Big Mom. It's not like she was gonna look super cool or anything, and she doesn't look super cool or anything. She's cool because she's a Yonko, but other than that, it's the character design isn't anything to freak out about, I don't think. What I do think is interesting, though, was seeing her three subordinates destroying those three countries, because they could be, in my opinion, like maybe Big Mom's version of Kaido's three calamities. Like, if they're the big three strong members of her crew that we have to fight, that'd be completely awesome. Because there looks to be a swordswoman who looks really cool. There's a guy that looks like he has a weird-looking wheel, and he has a metal hat. And to me, the metal hat looks like a train whistle or like a train smokestack. So I'm thinking maybe the guy is like train fruit or something. That's going to be another early prediction, train fruit guy. And then the third one is somebody, it's kind of hard to make out what they look like because of where it's placed and the shading and stuff. But somebody riding a crane-type bird. And lastly, we find out that Big Mom already knows Luffy is here. So her knowing he's here, I think that there are a lot of ways that could have happened. We left Peckham's on our ship alone, and he's still part of her crew. Peckham's could have called up and told her. He could have even taken our ship and ditched us on Cacao Island. Or maybe Pedro is a double agent. Pedro could have said it. Or the way the cuts are set up, we don't, like, it's easy to assume it's happening at the same time, but there could have always been a few minutes between Pudding finding out who Luffy is and that scene. So when she found out who Luffy was, she could have always just freaked out and called Big Mom. Because she seems like she's really cool, but we still don't know how she's going to react to knowing that that's Sanji's crew, or that they're here to take him back or anything. No matter how nice she is, or she seems, we don't really know for sure yet. But I'm really liking Pudding, so I'm pretty optimistic that she'll be a really cool character. And other than that, yeah, I guess that's it. Or even, like, it could just be some other random person on the island saw him doing whatever and said, oh, that's Straw Hat Luffy, let me call up Big Mom. Because we are in her territory, there's sure to be a ton of her subordinates everywhere. Like, it's no, like, big surprise that a Yonko would be able to tell that somebody has invaded there. But that means that our whole stealth mission pointless. We're gonna have to. I mean, I didn't think many people expected the stealth mission to work, but it's gonna be interesting to see where things go from here on out, because it seems like we'll have a lot of enemies, but it seems like we could have a lot of allies here too. We got Jinbei coming in eventually. Little disappointed that we haven't seen him. We got Sanji. Maybe I don't know if the Vinsmokes are going to be good guys or bad guys. Maybe even a couple of them will be good guys. Like I could see maybe Reiju and Yonji saying, "We met these guys before. They're pretty cool. We're going to help them out." So I don't know. There's a lot of. This is another one like Zoe, where there are just so many possibilities for the arc that it's hard to guess, and I'm excited to see where Oda decides to go with it, given that there are so many possibilities. And as for Big Mom being evil, because I know some people are saying, oh, we're going to ally with her, she isn't really evil, I'm thinking this is a very Dressrosa-like situation, where everything seems like it's this big utopia with all the races, but she's paying for that utopia by demolishing other innocent nations. So at the end of the day, there's evil and there's turning a blind eye to evil when it benefits you. And I think that's the way that Totland is working here. Also, all of the smiling, happy, singing things, we've seen that Lobby on the Carpet, one of them has a name, so maybe they're people that were fused with objects or people turned into objects with her power. Maybe her power, I know a lot of people have been saying for a while she has like a witch devil fruit. Maybe she does have a witch devil fruit and she can act like the sorceress from Beauty and the Beast and just turn people into these objects, like turn people into furniture and stuff. That's a huge possibility, I think, because I don't know how else I would explain the singing cloud and the singing sun and all. And I think that maybe those people are just singing and acting all cheery and happy because they're afraid of what'll happen if they don't. She's a violent Yonko. She could kill them if they don't follow her whim like that. So it could be very much a Toys of Dressrosa situation with these talking, singing objects. So I think that's it. Yeah, overall, I thought this was a good chapter. Not like the best. It was good. It was definitely better than average. And my real big problem with it is that one big hole of having no reaction to pudding being pudding. So it was kind of weird, but I still think it was above average for sure. So I'm going to give it like 6.5 Law and Order Chocolatown episodes out of 10. Yeah, 6.5 out of 10. It was better than average, but it wasn't great or anything. It's probably on the lower end of chapters that I've reviewed. Probably the lowest chapter I've reviewed, actually, giving it a 6.5. So, like if you guys did like it, even if you disagree, comment down there and tell me what you thought of the chapter, what you thought of my thoughts on it. I'm very interested to see what you have to say. And subscribe for more One Piece, Tower of God, The Walking Dead, and a bunch more, as usual. Follow on Twitter if you want updates on when I'm posting stuff or pushing stuff back. And that's it. So, I'll see you all next time.